I met with Jim Hughes and Carl the other day from Exalta, so we got the go-ahead on the project. Well, when we do this, it's not going to be a regular restoration. You know, I know it's just not going to be a regular restoration. I don't want to replace the parts. It's important that we restore them or rebuild them and save everything that we can. So, and I know we don't have the right motor for the car, so I want to put it like it was supposed to be in the movie. In the movie, Toad said it had a 327 with 6 Strombergs. Since we don't have the original 348 that was in the car in the movie, and we don't have the original transmission, we know the car had a manual transmission in it, and we know that Toad said it was a 327 with 6 Strombergs. I want to find a period correct 327 block. I want to find a period correct set of carburetors and manifolds, not reproductions. I don't want reproductions on there. I want period correct stuff. Now I know it's going to be hard to find because they didn't come out with 327 till 62 or 2, right?
Yep. Okay.
And we got to change bell housing. I want to find a period correct transmission, shifter, all that stuff. So we're going to make the car as it would have been in 1962-ish is what the movie was supposed to be. But I don't want to replace the interior. I want to use the same interior. So it's got to be dyed, repaired, fixed, whatever we've got to do. I don't want to get rid of the chrome. I don't want to just buy new emblems. I want to get them fixed. You know, everything that's on the car, I want to take it apart. Even if it's not correct to a 1958 Chevy, I want to make sure that we put it back on. If it's got the wrong bolt, fine. But, you know, get the hardware cleaned up. There's some things on that car that are boogered up. It's got plates welded on it. It's got holes drilled in it for the camera. I want to leave that stuff. Biggest issue is going to be the paint. The paint's got to be duplicated because Carl from Exalta told me that if we didn't do something with it, it was going to continue to fall off. So when you disassemble a car, bag, mark everything, and put it back together like it was. Even if it's not right for a 1958 Chevy, it needs to be right for the way it ran in the movie so it looks the same. And as we get into it, we're going to find some different things, but we're going to, Bobby Alloway said that he knows somebody that can do that interior. Find original pieces, dye it, fix it. You know, you're going to have a lot of work to do on fixing up that chrome stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty dented up here and there.
I know, but it's just going to be important to duplicate the stripes. You know, I mean, how are we going to do that?
I think I can make some pretty good patterns of them before, when you know they get removed would be the best thing to do, and get a lot of good pictures of them.
So because they're not perfect.
Right.
So we got to make them not perfect again.
Yeah.
Like some of them are crooked, they don't match up.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, mechanically, Eddie, I want to use as many parts as we can. You know, the only stuff that I'm saying, okay, consumable parts that may not be original to the movie anymore could be stuff like tie rods and ball joints and brake shoes and stuff like that. But to my knowledge, the car has the original rear tires from the movie on it. And as I said, you know, it's the original steering wheel and, you know, the original rear end and all that stuff, springs. You know, the springs have got some stupid little spacers in there they use to keep the height and get the car jacked up. We got to keep all that stuff exactly the same. Now, if you, safety-wise, if you got to put new brake lines, brake shoes, maybe you can get the old brake shoes relined, you got to rebuild master cylinders, stuff like that. But even if it doesn't look correct under the hood, and I looked at it because it's got 2 sets of shocks and all kind of crazy stuff on it, I need to find out, was that stuff on there in the movie or not? Now I know that there's a bunch of paneling in the trunk. There's things on there. What we're going to do is track down, find out what was in the movie and what the man who owned it did to it.
Right.
Whatever he did to it, we won't take off. Okay?
Okay.
And we want to put the car back as it was in the movie and then portrayed in the movie.
Yeah, we should be able to do that. All the nuts, bolts, fasteners, clips will all sandblast and have it all re-zinc plated and phosphated and put all that.
Right, even if they're not the right ones.
Right.
Like if from the factory it came with a 3/8 bolt and this has got a 5/16 bolt in it, and we got to put it back like it was.
Yep.
Right.
All right?
Yep.
We can do that.
Any questions?
Oh, just got to find a motor for it in the early 60s. I think I know we might be able to get one, and then we got to locate an intake with the 6 Stromberg carburetors, and you just got to put some word out what we need. Start looking for those engine parts.
Body-wise?
I know there's 3 or 4 different colors on the car. The trunk's a different color, the dash is a different color. We don't know exactly what color white they use. That might be something Exalta's gonna have to come with their reader so we can read those colors, so we, have some idea of what to mix up.
As far as paint and getting the thing ready, they've guaranteed that they'll use all the resources that they can. If you want to do it here, you want to take it somewhere, you want to have somebody come in, but they've guaranteed that they'll do everything that they can to duplicate those colors. And we can't paint it the same way they did in the 60s because it was painted with lacquer. And they don't even use some of the chemicals, but they're gonna match everything as close as they can with paint and stuff that's legal today.
Yeah, I'm sure, probably the closest we can get now is doing it in a single stage, no clear on it. And then the stripes, they were just like put over top, so those can't be cleared over, they'll have to be just airbrushed on and left like that.
So that stuff was all put on as an afterthought.
Well, they probably thought about it.
Yeah, but they didn't. It wasn't like they removed the chrome or any of that,
No.
because there's overspray all over that thing.
Yeah.
How are you going to duplicate that?
Well, I might mask it a little bit better, but but we'll get the car completely done, all the chrome on it, and then have a guy come in and airbrush it. I think is the best thing to do, and I think Bruce is the guy for that.
All right. Well, it needs to leave here before Halloween, because SEMA's the following week, and Exalta's going to have a big unveil, and they're both at SEMA. So, it's a lot of time, but it's not a lot of time. So, we're really going to have to get on it. Finding those parts is going to be key, because I don't want to put stuff on that car that's not period correct, period.
Yep. Okay.
No joke there, period. This has got to be right.
And you think that maybe we need to go meet with this interior guy before we take this stuff out there? Or?
I said, Bobby's supposed to come here and see me, and then I want to go out there and see that guy and explain to him what we've got to do, and one of us is going to have to go there, all right? And if you're going, you might as well go right along with it. But as I said, I don't want him to replace the stuff. I want it repaired, and I want it dyed, and that's fine. But we've got to try and find some material that matches it, or that's from that period, and it's some old vinyl, aldehyde or something. It's not leather,
Right.
But that tuck and roll upholstery in that car was a big part of the movie.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let me know what I can do. You get on the mechanical stuff, you get on the body stuff, just keep me posted.
All right.
All right?
Okay.